this up anyway. But nah, keep going.
No, I'm trying to see why. What's the coach that coached the Blazers
That coached the Blazers
when Clyde was there?
when Clyde was there. Who was the coach of the Blazers? But see, that's the thing, man. So, yo, Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 41. It's me, your boy Chris. I'm here with Super Dave. Super Dave, how you feeling, man?
No, I'm living, baby.
Yo, right now, we just figured we run right into the podcast. We're talking about the top 15 coaches in NBA history. Dave just pulled it up for the NBA 75th. They thought they narrow it down to 15 coaches. So, all right, let's read off the list real quick.
Got Red Auerbach.
Okay.
Got Larry Brown.
Okay, these are no-brainers right here. Yeah, these are no-brainers. So we got Red Auerbach, a famous Boston Celtics legendary coach, and then you have Larry Brown.
Yep. You got Chuck Daly.
Okay.
Dream Team coach of the Bad Boy Pistons.
Gotcha.
Red Olsman. That might be before our time.
That's definitely before our time. Yeah. Anybody named Red is before our time.
Phil Jackson, no brainer.
Yeah, no brainer. We'll go back to Phil Jackson real quick.
Casey Jones, kind of no brainer. He was Larry Bird's coach, so kind of no brainer.
Yeah. Any of those Boston Celtics coaches from the 50s and 60s, no brainer.
Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr. How do you feel about Steve Kerr being on there?
Let's keep going. Let's think about that real quick.
Don Nelson.
Okay.
Greg Popovich, no brainer. Dr. Jack Ramsey. Before our time,
but before our time, but you know about Dr. Jack.
Yeah.
So we know about Dr. Jack.
Pat Riley.
Okay.
Doc Rivers, I might have an issue with that.
Okay.
Jerry Sloan, no brainer. Eric Spoelstra, he grew on me.
Spo. Top 15 is wild.
Top 15 crazy.
Top 15 is wild.
He grew on me.
Yeah, let's talk.
And the last name on the list was Lenny Wilkins. No brainer.
Yeah, Lenny Wilkins is a no brainer. Now, you had a name that you felt like could have been on this list.
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yeah. Now, Rudy T, here's the thing. He's got those 2 rings with Houston when they went back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And before the podcast, my thing was, longevity. Did he do it as long? He only got the 2 rings. He was, let's see. He was a head coach from 92 to 2003, and he was an assistant coach from 83 to 92.
Mm-hmm.
So from 92 to 2003, he's a 2-time NBA champ, and he was the head coach of the All-Star game once. His career coaching record is 559. It's 527 and 416 as a coach. He was also a bronze medal coach in 98 for the FIBAs.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a gold medal in the Olympics in 2000 as the head coach of the U.S. team. Here's what I'm going to say. All right. My argument against it is the winning percentage.
Right.
And just remembering that time, his era was 94, 95. What's up, Reg? What's up, man? Appreciate you pulling up. And then after that, Houston was like, they had aging players. They signed Barkley. They kind of fell off, and then he was out of there for the Steve Francis, Cuttino Mobley era.
Right.
So, he kind of missed the T-Mac, Yao, prime.
Mm-hmm.
The argument for is Spoelstra's in there,
right,
for 2 back-to-back rings, and really just like a 3 or 4 year period of your team really being in that conversation. Now, let's look at, because before the show started, I said, I don't know, man. Rudy T kind of came and went.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, as an assistant, the Rockets didn't do much. I mean, they were winning teams and stuff like that.
Right.
And the year before and the year after, they were still in the conversation of possibly making it to the finals. But that's because Olajuwon was one of the best top 4 players in the NBA at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. But if Spoelstra's getting in there, then Rudy T has to get in because he went back-to-back. Spoelstra went back-to-back too. They did go to 4 straight finals, but what has happened since? Nothing really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it attributed to him or is it having the big 3 and going in the luxury tax?
Yeah, that's why I said Spoelstra, he grew on me because I just figured everybody was saying he was such a good coach because he had the big 3.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see what you're going to do after the big 3. And they had that little one rough patch, and then they was able to get back to the playoffs and be like a top tier team in the East, top 4 team in the East.
Right.
And that's why I say he kind of grew on me. So, you know what I mean? That's my same argument with Ty Lue. He's doing a good job with the Clippers this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, since he's been with the Clippers, he's been doing a good job. But I always figured, I'm like, well, how good of a coach is he? Because the first thing they bring up is, oh, Ty Lue's a NBA championship winning coach. Well, you had the best player in the league on your team.
That's true.
You didn't have to do much. And then with a watered down Eastern Conference.
Well, I'll say this in Ty Lue's defense. What's his name? David Black couldn't get it done.
But David Black took that same team to the NBA Finals the year before.
And he did take them to the NBA Finals. They were hurt. He didn't get it done. Ty Lue comes back. Draymond gets suspended, and he makes it happen.
Bogut gets hurt.
Yeah, but then he also gets that team back to 2 more finals after that, and they lose to the second greatest collection of players in modern basketball.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is he a good coach? Because he had Bron.
I think Ty Lue's a good coach, period.
But then when Bron left, he didn't make it through 15 games of the next season.
Oh, well, but that's the LeBron effect. Somebody has to go. And the Cavs were tearing it down, and they clearly did not want him there. They said, look, this is not going to be a situation that's good for either of us with you being here, a championship coach, and we ain't got nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And K-Love was hurt. It was just a bad situation. So I'm not going to attribute that to him.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's taken over the Clippers, first of all, they took the Suns to the brink last year with just Paul George as their one lone star player.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had Kawhi all year. And all they're doing is coming back on teams from being down 25, 27. They were down 35 last week and came back and won the game against the Wizards. Mm-hmm. So I'm the Wizards. They got the Wizards. We'll get into them. I'm on one with the NBA. I love it. But I'm going to say this. Ty Lue, he's got to get his credit. But like I said, we need to see more longevity. I need another chip out of you, sir. A non-LeBron chip.
It's not going to happen.
But look, his teams never lay down. They never quit.
Right.
You know, but Rudy T has a case if Spoelstra has a case. Shout out to Reg. He says Spoelstra could have solidified it if they won it in the bubble. Not to me, but to the media. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that Miami team was never going to win it in the bubble. They weren't good enough. They weren't better than the best 3 or 4 teams in the West. It's just that, you know, Ben Simmons got hurt. What is it? It just with the East wasn't all that good or interested in playing in the bubble. That's what I'm gonna say to that. There was a lot happened that in that bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis just had a brain fart, couldn't figure it out. They hadn't become the Giannis we see now yet.
Right.
You know, they dared him to shoot. He couldn't do it. And I'm trying to think, who did they beat in the finals, East Finals in the bubble? Was it Boston?
I think it was Boston.
Yeah, and they had no front line because
it wasn't the Sixers.
No, Sixers went out in the first round. Yeah,
Sixers lost to Boston, right?
Yeah, Sixers lost to Boston. So it was Boston and Miami, and Boston had no front line.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, just a little. But this is an interesting list. I'm not going to argue with any of the names, but you make a great case for Rudy T. I was happy to see Larry Brown up there.
Yeah,
he's got his one championship, but Larry Brown. as a person who's a fan of a team that Larry Brown built up then left, he does that.
Yeah,
Larry Brown doesn't finish contracts.
Yeah, that's his track record.
Yeah. My man's never going to finish a contract. If you sign Larry Brown to a 4 or 5 year deal, you're probably only going to get 3. Yeah. And good luck on trying to be successful with that one.
Right.
But Larry did an excellent coaching job with Allen Iverson. And I think that was his best coaching job. But all of those years with the Pacers were phenomenal years. And I think, like this list, Don Nelson, he's never won a championship, right?
No, not that I can think
right.
of.
But his winning percentage is insane. He only has like 1 losing season in his entire coaching career. So I do love that championships aren't the end all be all, right? Because if that's the case, they're going to throw Frank Vogel in there, and I'm just not with it. We won't have any of that ridiculousness on this podcast. So that's what I'm saying. I like that they did that, though, because they respect coaches who have done it with longevity. Now, as far as Doc, Reg says he'll be 12 to 13 out of this group if you had to rank them. I don't disagree. But Doc has a championship, and he's got a couple of finals appearances, and his winning percentage is great. It's better than, a Rudy T. So, that's just that. Yo, but we got to get started, man. We know we got our Super Bowl picks coming up in this show. Do you have a score in mind?
Rick Alderman was the coach I was talking
about.
Rick Adelman.
He's a long-time coach.
Never had a losing record.
You know what? Rick Adelman was a coach of what? The Kings?
Portland.
Yeah.
Portland, Golden State, Sacramento.
Yeah, I know he coached Sacramento. Okay. And you said Portland, Golden State, Sacramento.
Minnesota.
We're going to have to revisit this, man. We're going to have to revisit this coaching conversation.
Yeah, matter of fact, he had his only losing records was his 3 years with Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, Reg says 1,000 wins over 4 different teams means something because bad coaches don't get that many chances.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And black coaches don't get that many chances. So shout out to Doc Rivers. It's Black History Month. We got to shout it out, man. Most black coaches get
Rick got
bad jobs.
1,042 wins and 749 losses.
1,042 wins and 749 losses? That's enough. He could be in the conversation. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure there's some coaches like before our time, like Billy Cunningham for the Sixers, back when they had Moses Malone and Doc and everybody. There's a case to be made for quite a few coaches here. Let's see. Well, all right. So right now, the NBA is going through trade mania, right? And trade anticipation and insomnia, insanity, whatever you want to call it. Let's start with the trades this week. The first major trade that went down this week. Let's talk about it.
We're gonna go. You want to go with the CJ, or you want the Clippers? The Clippers in that Clippers in Portland trade for Covington and Norman Powell. We got to do that along with the CJ trade because we got to speak to what's going on here and how it impacts the other trades. So let's talk about the most pointless trade in NBA history, with the basketball gods are punishing Domantas Sabonis. Yes.
Pacers trading with the Kings. Domantas Sabonis, Karis LeVert in exchange for...
No, Karis LeVert went to Cleveland.
Karis LeVert went to Cleveland. Apologies. It was Domantas Sabonis and Jeremy Lamb.
And Justin Holiday
to the Kings for Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton.
And Tristan Thompson.
Which
I think he's going to get released.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does that trade matter to anything?
A -10.
And this is what I'm saying. Sacramento Kings, you had a chance to acquire Ben Simmons for probably these 3 players or something similar to it. Why on earth would you go get basically a guy who can't create for himself, Domantas Sabonis, get a guy who doesn't exist to people like me who watch the sport and look for meaningful players, Jeremy Lamb, get Justin Holiday, who's And then you get Tristan Thompson, a hustle man, a workman.
Who you're probably going to release.
Exactly.
And he's going to go to a contender.
I don't think there's a worse franchise in professional sports over the last 30 years than the Sacramento Kings. I want everybody to just, if you hear this podcast, just sit and think, when is the last time the Kings have been worth talking about? You see what I'm saying? Because this trade, it's two losers continuing to lose. I didn't even see draft compensation get exchanged, like meaningful draft compensation.
Yeah.
It's not like some unprotected first went here, went there. Like, come on, man.
No, it was just
the most popular thing to trade, a second rounder.
Yeah, second rounder, 2023.
Oh, yes, you'll get someone from Coppin State. Congratulations. Somebody from Morehead State, a small forward.
No, you're gonna get a draft and stash. You're gonna draft someone from overseas and keep him over there.
Yeah, like, Alexander Pacheknik from
you,
Southern Greece, or from that played for Olympiacos for half a season before he tore his Achilles.
From the Republic of Georgia.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Like, for everything that everybody wants to criticize, I think we got to start turning up the heat. Sports media's got to turn up the heat and start destroying the Kings, start destroying the Pacers, because you're not moving in a direction. And in an era where people are supposedly against tanking, how could people have been upset with the Sixers when you're looking at teams be bad with no plan on being good?
Right. Like the Sabonis to going to Sacramento, that doesn't say, oh, Sabonis is a missing piece for a championship run.
No.
Not going to the Kings. Now, if you trade Sabonis to, let's say that you trade Sabonis to the Nets, then that's addressing the need for the Nets that they don't have a person that can score down low.
Exactly.
That's addressing the need. Going to Sacramento, like, what need is that addressing?
None at all.
It's down there. That when I saw that trade, I was like, I reached out to you. I said, this was pointless.
Yeah, I told you it's junk. It's like, hey, you want my junk? I'll give you some junk. Okay, cool. We did something. And I didn't understand it. Now, if some contract lengths are there, but it doesn't matter. Those players need to be jettisoned, and you need to be acquiring picks.
Right.
I don't even want players back. I want guys back that I'm going to cut or send somewhere else. Bring a third team in, and let's see how many picks I can get. Like, the only way so the NBA has, to me, too many teams without a direction.
Right.
And it's been like that for the last 15, 16, 17 years, right? And it definitely got worse and exacerbated in the super team era. Like whenever it was LeBron, KD, everything. This is where more 3 or 4 team trades need to happen.
Right.
And there needs to be, the NBA has to get involved in these markets. How are you going to convince people to come watch basketball in a place that loves basketball like Indiana? How are you going to convince people in Sacramento that they need to keep supporting the Kings? Shaq is no longer the owner. He had to step out of there and divest himself, right? They fired Vlade Divac, who was the worst GM of all time. He might have been a worse executive than Michael Jordan.
Oh, that's hard.
Up until 2 years ago.
That's hard,
right?
to do.
Like, that's very hard. Like, this is one of the worst. He's awful. I just don't understand the relevance of that trade. I thought it was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really just can't. I just can't fathom what this is about. Reg says they could have easily solved their problems by drafting Luka or Trey instead of Bagley. That's another thing. Why is Marvin Bagley still on the Kings? Let him go. Go get 2 second-round picks. Go get a late first from somebody.
I didn't think they would give up on Tyrese Halliburton so quickly. Now, if you're gonna get someone like Ben Simmons, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But in this trade, I would have kept, like, you just got him. So and he's a more of a pure point guard than De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
So I would have thought De'Aaron Fox would have went before Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the Tyrese Halliburton, because I was going through it with the crazy ass Sixers fans about Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, we need to trade Ben for Halliburton. I think I told everybody Halliburton, while he's young, he's still a player that's an unknown. You don't know what he's going to be. I don't know what his ceiling is. When I see his ceiling, I see Shake Milton, right? Possibly better.
Nah, see, he's better. I think his ceiling is better than Shake Milton.
He could score 17, 18. I don't know if it's going to be consistent, right? I don't know if he's going to be a consistent scorer.
For a good team.
For a good team, yes. He'll be dependent upon the talent around him because Shake does very well when he plays. And I don't think that's an insult at all. But he's spotty. Tyrese Halliburton to give you 31 night, then the next 9 games, it'll be 12, 7, 15, 4, 6. And it's like, yo, I think you just now saw Tyrese Halliburton's value.
Your thing with Tyrese Halliburton is, you could get 38 points playing for Sacramento. Can you get 38 points playing for Philly?
Yeah.
Can you get it playing for Chicago? Can you get it playing for Golden State? Like some top tier teams. Can you do this? Can you give me this same production with some good teams that's contending? And when you get 38 at Sacramento, we probably ain't gonna pay attention to it.
No, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's 38 in a losing effort. That's my problem. When people in this era, there's a lot of empty stat monsters in the NBA. A lot of guys who I call them ghost. They put up ghost numbers. It's like, something's there, but there's no body to it. Right. It's low impact buckets. And now he's going to Indiana and he's just gonna have a green light to fire away and just finish out the season. But I think now, Sixers fans, I'm glad that people finally got to see what his trade value actually was. Ben Simmons is a franchise cornerstone. You can't just take back Tyrese Halliburton. You can't take back Buddy Hield, who's a player that's declining. He doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, he's having a rough season.
Yeah, he's very rough. You can't even take back Harrison Barnes straight up, even though that's a guy I wanted. Not even a De'Aaron Fox, or a Marvin Bagley. These players are right now, they need to be moved off in favor of, they need to go full Houston Rockets right now. Go straight to the bottom. Because if you don't go straight to the bottom, it's going to be hard for you to go back up.
Right.
Like, just tank completely. Why are you, Domantas Sabonis, I feel bad for him because he's the best player between the two teams, and he's going to have to play in Sacramento. That is like one of the worst punishments you could possibly give somebody. I say it's Orlando, but really it's Sacramento.
Well, at least Orlando got good weather.
Yeah, exactly. And Sacramento.
And no state taxes.
It's Northern California. From what I hear, it's not Southern California. It's crappy. And they still get snow. So, yeah, man, I don't know. That trade is crazy. So let's talk about, first of all, I want to pat myself on the back in this podcast because I predicted this.
Here we go.
What did I say, Dave?
Here we go.
January 15th, the Blazers were going to have to break that team up.
Yes,
I've been called names. I've been insulted personally. I've had people threaten me. I've been called Chris Bayless, which I'm sticking to. Shout out to James Ingram, basketball aficionado. I don't disrespect your knowledge. But when I predict the future, I think it needs to be respected. The Rams are in the Super Bowl, according to my last check. And right now, the Blazers, I said January 15th, they're going to have to decide to break it down. 10 games under 500, somebody's going. They're going to have to destroy that team, detonate it, hit the button. And what happened? They hit the button this week.
They hit the button.
So let's talk about their first trade. Let's talk about the first trade they made because I'm going in right now.
Okay.
Everybody thought, oh, man, Dames, how long should he stay dedicated? How long should he stay patient? Man, I don't want to hear none of that. Your team sucks and you don't have a chance in the West. Yo, shout out to Chris Walker, my man. He said I'd be on point. Chris knows, man.
You be on point.
And Chris Bayless is legit. I'm going to get the jersey and I'm going to wear it here next week. Yeah, I'm going to get Chris Bayless. You know what I'm saying? Or, we're going to do that. But what's the first trade? Let's talk about the Blazers.
The Blazers sent CJ.
No. The Covington trade was first, right?
The Covington trade was first.
Okay,
right.
so
all right, we'll start there. They traded Robert Covington and Norman Powell for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, in a 2025 second-round pick.
Okay, so out of all the moves the Blazers made, this is why I said they were going to have to blow it up. They gave up picks. They signed big contracts last year for average players. And now look, you know what they got in return?
Jump.
Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe. Undersized. Avery Bradley with rims. With that, and not the same amount of defense. They got a hard-nosed.
Who's a better defender, Avery Bradley or Eric Bledsoe?
I think Avery Bradley's a better defender.
I think Eric Bledsoe. I think it's a wash.
I think he's tenacious.
Yeah,
but he's not a better defender than Eric Bradley or Avery Bradley in his prime. But for all of that, if you're Dame and you're sitting there and you say, man, all that moving and shaking we did over the last 6 months, y'all fired the GM. We got a new coach, Chauncey Billups, who actually plays point guard, and y'all give me Eric Bledsoe and take away Robert Covington, who plays 3 positions and guards 4 positions. You gave away Norman Powell, who you just gave 5 years, $90 million to, and he can at least, I don't know, stay in front of somebody. Mm-hmm. You got rid of him for Eric Bledsoe. Now, you talk about Justice Winslow, career disappointment to me. Mm-hmm. I thought he was going to be something coming out of college. He's nothing.
Right.
Keon Johnson, I have no idea who he is. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I told people I'll pay attention to real players. Mm-hmm. So, but that trade is the epitome of we're blowing it up. Now, if you look at the Clippers, that's a fantastic trade.
Yeah, that's a good trade
for Kawhi not to be there. Mm-hmm. You'll get to actually get Kawhi's defense. You get Robert Covington, who can stretch the floor, and you get another hustle player with speed, kind of like you already have with Terrence Mann with Norman Powell.
Yeah, and then that's big because we don't know if Kawhi's coming back this season.
Yeah,
we know Paul George is going to come back this season.
Yeah,
and now when you bring let's bring Paul George back first. So now for the stretch run, Paul George doesn't have to go guard Devin Booker. He doesn't have to go guard Klay or Steph. Robert Covington, you could go guard them while I score.
Exactly.
Norman Powell, when we play Golden State, Norman Powell and Covington, you go get Steph and Klay, and I can guard Draymond.
And when we go small, we can put Morris at the 5, put Covington at the 4, and Paul George at the 3. Mm-hmm. Interchangeable defense all across the board. Mm-hmm. I think it's a fantastic trade for the LA Clippers.
Yeah,
And you're talking about when they get Paul George back, they're winning without Paul George.
Right.
So when we talk about Ty Lue, this is an excellent coaching job because
that's why I said since he's been with the Clippers, he's been doing a good job.
Yeah. Ty Lue has been under duress. He's been under siege by Kawhi Leonard's. I don't even know if I've never seen somebody take this long in modern times to come back from injuries. Kawhi takes his sweet time coming back. But if he does come back and he can contribute, I don't see why the Clippers can't win the championship. Right now, they're going to be in the second round with the way the West is, because the West is not as good as the East this year. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be in the second round. Right. But I love this trade for the Clippers. But as far as the Blazers, so the talk was, now does Dame move? Dame and the Blazers are trying to reassure everybody. And when I said they were lying, everybody thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Dame comes out and says, yeah, they're trying to put together the team I want. I'm okay with it. You know, I'm a Blazer. I'm trying to be loyal, And the Blazers say there's no plans. They hung up on the Sixers when they called, allegedly, right? I think they're lying again. Mark my words. Dame Lillard is not staying there. So the logic behind this trade is that they got contracts they can get rid of. They can clear cap space, and they just got $21 million in trade exceptions. Dave, think around the NBA. Give yourself 30 seconds. Think around the league. What free agents are coming available that want to go to Portland and play with a 32-year-old Dame Lillard?
I don't think anybody.
Just take all the time you need.
That's all the time I need.
Listen, anybody got the Jeopardy soundtrack? Just send it through. I will play it.
That's all the time I need.
Who is going to Portland?
Nobody.
I don't see James Harden like, man, I've always wanted to play with Nurkic.
What are they going to do with him?
I don't know. He's a big man that ain't big. Like, he just doesn't play big. Nurkic is a finesse big man that's undersized. This is Nurkic. Maybe they should have got Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
That probably would have been better for them.
Yeah.
But once again, Portland, you can't lie to me. You fired your GM. You changed your coach. You stripped the roster down because of this trade. What's the CJ McCollum trade now?
CJ, Larry Nance Jr.
Okay.
And Tony Snell.
I love Larry Nance, by the way. I think he's a great hustle player. He's a guy that really does what he's supposed to do. But keep going.
And the Pelicans send Josh Hart, Thomas Zadaransky, Nickeil Alexander Walker, and Didi We're not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Just somebody named Didi.
Didi Gregorius. Just say that. Okay. Yeah, from the Yankees.
To the Blazers, along with a protected first-round pick and a second-round pick.
Okay, so what you're telling me is they got a protected first pick. So it's probably 1 through 20 or 1 through 15 protected.
1 through 14, I think.
So it's not a lottery pick.
No.
So if the Pelicans make the playoffs, which they still can, they can make a stretch run because they got CJ McCollum now, and they're not far off the playoffs in the West, right? You've given them what, three players?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 players.
4 players.
And 2 picks. 3 picks.
And you've taken back Josh Hart. So Josh Hart, smaller than CJ McCollum, right? And Nickeil Alexander, you just traded today to the Utah Jazz.
Yep, I was scrolling up to that one right now.
I want to bet an entire paycheck that Dame Lillard doesn't survive the summer in Portland. And I almost want to walk down to the casino down the street and bet that he'll be traded by tomorrow. There is no reason for him to stay. Who is this magical free agent that's going to fall out of the sky? And Thomas Satoransky is not solving your problems. He's cool as a player. He's a guy, but he's not going to solve your problems. But they
traded Satoransky.
Oh, so they traded Satoransky too. So in all of that, you placed 4 trades, you signed 2 free agents, and you gave up 2 draft picks, got back protected picks that might not matriculate to you for 2 years in order to get Eric Bledsoe.
And Joe Ingles, who's out with a torn ACL.
Oh, yeah, and an injured Joe Ingles, one-legged Joe Ingles. This is what I'm saying, man. I don't understand what people think when they're watching the NBA. Yo, it's happening. It's over. It's over. It's over. I'm going to say it again. It's over. Dame Lillard is 32 years old. No superstar is going to come and say, I want to play with Dame and Eric Bledsoe for Chauncey Billups.
That's crazy because I don't even remember the last time that I saw a free agent, someone go to Portland as a free agent. I think all the Portland moves were trades.
And guys they drafted.
Right.
Yeah, that was it. Ever since we've been born. Like free agents don't go to Portland, Oregon. It's not a good place to live. Compared to South Beach or to LA or to New York. What endorsements are you going to get in Portland? I'm pretty sure they got a nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's about. Well, no, because Nike wants the guys that play in LA and New York.
But I'm just saying, but Nike's in Oregon, so
I guess. They probably got a couple good steakhouses. You know what I'm saying? They might have an In-N-Out burger. You know what I'm saying? Some real West Coast. Keep it real West. Keep it real nifty. You know what I'm saying? But for the life of me, I need people to start respecting my ability to tell the future.
Hey,
yo, shout out to my man Chris. He's out west. He's in the Bay right now where they're playing winning basketball. Yeah, that's a team that is trying to win. This is one of the worst NBA trade days, deadlines I've ever seen. This is the most junkiest set of trades I've ever seen. Well, do you feel sorry for Dame?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
How come? Because he's choosing this.
Yeah, I do because he's one of the rare guys that want to be loyal to his team.
Yeah,
like Melo was loyal to the Knicks, and it's looking like Dame is going down that road because Melo had a chance to get traded to the Bulls, and he wanted to be loyal and re-sign with the Knicks, and then we see how that ended. So it looks like Dame is going down that same path.
Shout out to my man James. He says Chauncey is going to get the Brett Brown treatment. He'll be a tank coach, but won't get the same leash if they get better. No. And he says none of the trades so far make sense. This is like one of the worst trade deadline things ever. The suspense is better than the actual product.
Yeah, but I think it's always been like this for the past couple of years. Like a couple days before the trade deadline, you'll get some little sprinkles, nothing that's really gonna move the needle. And then the closer we get to the actual deadline, that's when the trade is gonna start coming in.
Let's talk about, before the show, you said, let's talk about another prediction because you saw this article. Russell Westbrook from John Wall is now a possibility if LeBron signs off on it. Who has been on this show saying this?
You.
Who has been on Facebook saying this? For the Houston Rockets, it's a Ben Simmons situation, but it's a voluntary situation. I don't want you to play because you'll make us you know, a little less bad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too good, but a little less bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 2 years left on your deal.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook, on the other hand, makes the same amount as you supermax players.
Exactly the same. Both got 2 years left.
But he's an expiring contract.
No, they both got 2 years.
Oh, they both got 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever.
You don't want Westbrook to play. It's the same thing.
But Westbrook's so bad, he won't make the Rockets better.
No.
So this is what I'm saying. And he's already been with the Rockets and pissed everybody off there, 2 years ago. So my thing is, it makes perfect sense. Now, John Wall is not a great shooter either from last time we saw him play 7 ages ago.
Just a better shooter than Russ.
My mom is a better shooter than Russ. My nephew, who's 2 years old, probably has better hands than Russell Westbrook. I saw him grab a basketball the other day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, man, Russ can't do this. My thing is, I'm trying to tell people, like, LeBron lied. This is my man's. Y'all are sleeping on us. We're going to make a run. Ooh, I can't wait till we get healthy. He sat up there last night when they got just drummed.
Yes.
The Bucks let the street sweeper off in the Crypto Center last night. They got drummed. They gave up 78 points in the second half. Over the last 4 games, Russ is 14 for 51 shooting. Listen, man. LeBron sat up there in the post-game press conference next to AD and said, we're not on their level and we can't get to the Bucks level. We'll never be as good as them. First of all, that's loser talk.
It is.
Second of all, it's reality because you guys are losers. Dave, what do you think the odds are of that trade happening?
Russ and John Wall? I give it like a 70% chance it happens.
For basketball reasons. Explain to the people why it works, because I've been saying this.
I think you'll, like, if that trade goes down, John Wall is a better shooter than Russ.
Yes.
Not by much, but he's a better shooter.
Instead of 19%, he'll shoot 29%.
Right.
Which is almost serviceable.
And John Wall won't turn the ball over as much as Westbrook. So you can feel comfortable with John Wall running the show on the second unit, or when LeBron and them are getting rest, and you don't have to worry about 8-9 turnovers.
A couple games ago, I watched Russ come down the court full speed in traffic and fire a pass directly at the stanchion. I've never seen that before. Like, I've seen a lot of things. I saw him hit the side of the backboard from in front of the rim. I've never seen that.
I saw him last night get an offensive rebound and shoot a 10-foot brick.
Yo, crazy. But X's and O's is crazy. Shout out to my man Chris. I want to get through some of these comments. James says Kings and Sabonis don't mix. That's oil and water. My man Chris Walker says, I don't feel sorry for him for talking about Dame, and loyalty to a franchise that will show you no loyalty is so dumb.
Right.
Yeah, that's my thing. I love Dame as a player. He's one of my favorite players of this era. He gives me Iverson vibes. He's a force of nature. He's competitive. But you got to leave this situation.
But it's some guys that make it to the league are just too loyal to a fault. So it's like they're gonna ride or die with the franchise that gave them that first shot.
Yeah.
So it's like they drafted me. I've had some success, like individual success, and my team got to at least the Western Conference Finals one year. So it's like in his head, it's like, all right, I'm going to ride or die with them. But we all know these sports franchises aren't so loyal to those players.
No, not at all.
So I mean, the second you start your productivity starts to dip, they're going to get rid of you.
I'm gonna bridge one thing to the other right now, right? So I got a dark horse candidate, right? They're not going anywhere anyway, but they may be able to play a little bit better basketball. Russ to the Knicks. What do you think?
What are you going to get in return? Kemba
Walker. And one of those guys on the bench. Just put together some bench players. But give me Kemba Walker, a couple guys on the bench. The Lakers send a first and Russ out to New York and generate some offense. I think that works for both teams. And then we got Julius Randle wanting to get out of there too. Mm-hmm. He's fed up with Tibbs, like everyone else always is.
Yeah, and the Knicks not even they traded for Cam Reddish, and Tibbs is coming out saying he never wanted Cam Reddish. And he hasn't.
And why are you making that statement?
Yeah, he hasn't played for like the last 4 games.
So I was talking to my man the other day.
And Tibbs is gonna lose that job, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. Reg says Portland should have traded for Julius Randle. That would have made sense. CJ McCollum for Julius Randle straight up would have put the Knicks back in the conversation, because you could have moved Fournier to the bench where he belongs. Yeah, and you could have generated some offense.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my man, and he was like, man, Tibbs is a good coach. I hate to see him go through it. But you don't have that generation of players that want to play grind me down to the nub basketball. Guys don't want to play 48 minutes of hell anymore.
That left when he was the coach of the Bulls.
That left when Tony Allen left the game.
Because when he was the coach of the Bulls, he had guys on that roster that was that grimy, gritty player.
Yeah.
He had Noah. He had a younger Taj Gibson, not the Taj Gibson he got now.
Yeah.
He had Luol Deng. He had a young Jimmy Butler who wasn't offensively skilled yet, but he was just a defensive dog.
Yeah.
Then you had people like Keith Bogans who just played defense. And then we got rid of Keith Bogans and got Ronnie Brewer, another defender. So you had guys like that in Chicago that didn't mind playing tip style. Now these young guys don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So like and Tibbs, like you said, nobody wants to play 53 minutes in a 48-minute game.
Exactly. And like my man Chris said, Russ would at least give them a spark that they don't have. I'm not saying the spark is going to be amazing, but they need someone at point guard that can at least run fast. They look slow. They don't play defense. And they don't have tenacity. There's not a lot of heart left on that team. They just don't have it. Yeah. I watched them play last week, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, the Knicks teased the basketball world with that run they had last year.
Yeah.
Now it's back to being the Knicks.
They were a huge disappointment. I always thought they would be a middle of the East team, but this year, I mean, given the injury to Bradley Beal, they might pick up a couple wins and slide into that play-in. But it is just it's not a good situation over there. But yeah, that was one trade I was looking at. Now let's get to the elephant in the room. The most ridiculous scenario ever, but one I also predicted. Everybody's saying there's no way you'll get James Harden or a major player in a trade for Ben Simmons. I said, wait until the Blazers fall. You're going to start to find out what Ben Simmons' trade value is. Teams can say what they want to try to appease fans, to try to throw the media off the scent, get them off the case, whatever. But I know that Ben Simmons represents a future, and he's under contract for 4 more years after this. He's an all-star that does about 10 elite things. The only thing he doesn't do is shoot, and he ain't going to shoot.
And free throws.
Right. But he can help your future and save your job. Now we're looking at a situation where they're going back and forth now. We got the Nets and the Sixers both denying that they're talking, but they're talking. They're sneaky linking right now. It's a sneaky link right now. And Windhorst and Woj disagreeing and arguing with each other through different hosts on SportsCenter is amazing. I love it. Windhorst is saying, no, they're talking. It's all BS. And Woj is saying, they're not talking at all. What are you talking about? So
who are you going to believe?
I believe Windhorst, because there's nobody tucked under the crotch of major players than Windhorst. And Windhorst is Clutch Sports, so he got the inside scoop.
He's tucked under LeBron's crotch.
Oh, yeah. He's he was the Akron, Ohio beat writer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Windhorst has it. What are the chances you see of this trade being completed?
I don't know. It all depends on if the Sixers want to give in to the Nets counter proposal. And it's a lot.
All right,
it's a lot. But I did hear that the Sixers was calling around to do some other small trades to clear up some space for a Harden.
Yeah,
like trying to get Tobias Harris out of there.
Which is, I told people that was going to happen, or that the Sixers were thinking about. Oh, Chris, you don't know what you're talking about. You cannot pay someone who averages 15 points a game, 16 points a game, is horrible on defense, and can't pass the ball $35 million a year. But continue.
My thing with this Sixers situation, I don't want them to gut their team just to bring in Harden until you'll have Harden and Embiid, and then you'll have people from South Philly.
Yeah.
Like the same thing with the Knicks.
Oh, they'll have Charlie Brown Jr., who's on the roster right now.
They'll have like with the Knicks in Denver.
Yeah.
When the Denver just, oh, you want Melo? Okay. Give me your whole roster and you can have them.
The worst. That was the end of the Knicks.
Right. When the Knicks could have just waited when Melo had already made it clear that I was going to come to you.
All you had to do is wait 4 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would have been able to keep Raymond Felton, Gallinari.
That's called being thirsty.
Yeah. Wilson Chandler. You would have been able to keep all of those guys.
Right.
And then still have Melo. So I like with the stuff that the Nets are offering. I mean, the stuff that the Nets are asking for. And then the Sixers trying to make some deals with Tobias or whoever to try to clear up some space. I just don't want them to gut their team for this stretch run, and then if it don't work, then like what do you have left?
You have nothing left, and that's what I'm saying. I think Embiid deserves a full roster.
Right.
People think that you need to just go top heavy, Embiid a star, and just spare parts. I say you need to build a team that more resembles the Dallas Mavericks that won the championship. Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler, Shawn Marion,
Terry.
Yeah, Jason Terry. That's the kind of team you need. You don't need to try to force Embiid to carry the load, because if he does turn an ankle, if he does hurt his lower back falling after dunking on some random center in Washington, right? Or break a bone or something, you don't want the team to just turn into the Portland Trailblazers, right? You don't want to be the Sacramento Kings. So that's what I'm saying. Now, like Reg says, for the Nets' sake, they better trade him or watch him walk to Philly in the offseason. James Harden said, he said this before he got traded from Houston. I've never tested free agency ever in my career. I don't know what it's like to have people bid against each other. I want to test free agency. Right now, he's sitting out, not playing for them. They've lost 9 straight games. Now, we talked about this before the show. You say it's not a reason to worry.
Right.
Explain.
I think like with Harden's hamstring, Kyrie's playing half the games and KD's out.
Right.
When KD was there, they were still when he got hurt, they were number 1 in the East?
They were.
Something like that.
But they were up there.
I think it might be far-fetched.
Right.
But I think this, like with the Nets losing these games, I don't think it would be it's such a problem, because now when KD comes back and then they just stay afloat or whatever and finish anywhere from 5 to 5, 6, or I mean that playing game, and then they make the playoffs, they wouldn't have home court advantage. So then that means a game 7 will be on the road and you'll have all 3. Instead of finishing the top tier and then risk having a game 7 against Milwaukee or whatever, and you don't have Kyrie.
But at this point, right, you're free falling. You've lost 9 games straight. KD's out until at least a week after the All-Star break.
Right.
This could turn into be 5 to 8 more losses. So now you're looking at 18, 17 game losing streak in the middle of a season. And mathematically, it's almost impossible to get your team back right having a losing streak like that coming down the stretch. I think that's a dangerous game if that's what they're counting on.
Right.
But this all speaks to, you should have traded Kyrie to Houston and got John Wall. At least John Wall is there and can play all the games. And then, or you could have done a number of things. But this is what happens when you allow players to hold your franchise hostage. This is what happens because LeBron put together this team in LA. He's held them hostage. Now, look, they're never going to be great again. It's over. It's over for 10 years. Sorry, Lakers. No one's coming there. No one's coming to save you. And LeBron is going to go to wherever Bronny goes. So he's gone in another, 2 years? Anthony Davis, better trade him. But back to the Nets.
Right.
You're going to lose James Harden. He's not playing. He doesn't want to be there because he thinks this Kyrie situation is BS.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an older player. I don't understand. Like, if they truly ask for Matisse, Seth, Drummond, and Simmons in exchange for Harden,
and probably some picks
and picks, that is the most asinine, ridiculous, moronic trade proposal I've ever heard in my life. Why would the Sixers give you a guy who's going to give you a future for the next 10 years and at least extend KD's career a few more years because he plays all the defense, does all the rebounding, and runs the offense and will feed him and create for him? Why would we give you that along with the rest of our team?
Right.
It makes no sense. And like I said, with James Harden being disenchanted, I don't think they ever counted on James Harden due to his relationship with KD to grow this frustrated. You know, he said things in the past. The other day, he said they don't have the talent to win right now.
Right.
Which is he referring to KD and Kyrie's injury, or is he looking at this realistically? I'm not the player I used to be. I'm still really good, but I can't carry this thing in the way it's rolling.
Yeah, they got and you gotta realize, like, Kyrie's part-time, KD's out, Joe Harris is out. You know what I mean? So it's like Harden's injured. So
yeah,
like, they haven't had their full team in quite a while.
James says states are starting to remove some of the mandates. That's what the Nets are waiting on. If it was another city, I'd say, yeah, but New York City is the strictest of all the COVID.
Yeah.
And it's not about them removing the mask mandates, but the vaccine mandate.
Vaccine mandate is still gonna.
That's still in place for the rest of the season. Yeah. They're not. I don't think they're gonna change.
But it's crazy because I heard a report that Kyrie can't play home games, but he could practice in New York.
Yeah, because practice, it's not a capacity.
There's no crowd.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 or more. You gotta be vaccinated.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the way the virus moves, that's the logic behind it.
Gotcha.
James says Beal and Harden will both be available at the end of the season. They could walk for nothing. So it may at this point to just it may. So it says so. It may at this point. It may be better at this point to just hold on to Ben until the summer for the Sixers. I'm not opposed to that. If I'm Philly, I'm not opposed to that at all. I think Morey should hold out for the best deal.
Yeah, especially on the other hand, you're gonna gut your whole team.
Exactly. And this is what I was also saying to people. The Sixers are still going to be one of the top 3 teams in the East without Ben Simmons. Oh, Chris, you crazy. Ben Simmons is everything. This is never going to work. Where are we at? Top 3, 4 in the East? It's like a couple games separating like 6, 7 teams. I need people to respect when I'm telling the future on Facebook. And I tell you, if Ben goes for Harden straight up, I'm going to insult someone. I'm probably going to get banned from Facebook tomorrow. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? If this goes down. Because I told people it's now in the play. And it's going to be even worse if Lillard comes over. Because I'm Tupac, hit him up. Your staff, record label, and a crew, y'all all getting it. Because I got some enemies on my list. Because everything is coming true from what I've been saying.
Sixers are 2.5 out of first.
2.5 out of first. And they've lost 3 of the last 6. They lost to the Suns last night. They dropped to the Mavericks and the Wizards in a row last week, and they're still 2.5 out of first without Ben Simmons.
And Brooklyn is 5.5 out.
The season is an overwhelming success right now. You don't have to rush. Get the best deal possible. Get the best deal possible. And if not, if you can't get Simmons off tomorrow, get Tobias Harris off for, some smaller players. And then we got the buyout market coming too. I think people need to remember there's a whole buyout market coming. Somebody's getting bought out.
Yeah.
Sixers might need a rebounder. Hello, Tristan Thompson. Would you like to come in here and throw elbows? Would you like to elbow one of the Morris twins?
I think Chicago could use Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
We need a big. So if we can't, like, I was trying to get Sabonis, but I could wait to the buyout market, and if we could steal a big off the buyout market, to help Vooch with some rebounds down there.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to James. He says Brooklyn, they consider the practice facility an office, so that's what clears Kyrie to practice. Yeah, okay. Because excuse me, it doesn't hold as many people.
Gotcha.
And then Reg says Ben and Green for Harden, Ben and Danny Green for Harden, then Tobias Shake and picks for Dame. Here's what I'm trying to.
That's not no. That's no.
I don't think Portland will do it.
No, hell no.
Ben and Danny Green for Harden, I think works because
Brooklyn's not going to do that.
No, they're not going to do it, but it's smart,
right?
Because Danny Green is a veteran. He shoots the three well, and he'll play the defense that Joe Harris can't. With KD, your shooting percentage is going to go up if you're a three-point shooter. He's a specialist at this point.
His shooting percentage go up with LeBron.
But he's a big shot hitter. That's what he does. And Danny Green is known to do it, and he did it for the Sixers last couple years. This year, I think he hit the wall.
Yeah, I didn't. He hit the wall in the bubble.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree. But last year in the Sixers, he did very well. He knocked down a lot of big shots, and I think his injury was a big reason why we lost to the Hawks because he wasn't there. He got hurt game 2, and then what do we do? Blow 25-point leads for the rest of the series. So, yeah. I don't think Portland's going to do that. But if I'm the Sixers, Embiid's window is 4 or 5 years. I don't want first-round picks or anybody that I have to develop that's not already on the roster because we're not playing for the next 10 years right now. We're trying to win the championship within the next 3 or 4 years, tops. And then we're going to have to break it back down, baby. It's over. We're LA Lakers. So get it done now. Give up your first-round picks. Unprotected, too. You can have it. I'm not going to put a protection on the pick. If I want your best player, you can have 3 first-round unprotected picks from me. I don't care. Take them all. Because who are we going to get drafting at 28 and 27?
Nobody that's going to help you.
Sophocles Schwarzenegger. That's the kind of players you get from Greece. Baby Shaq from Greece.
Hey, yo,
this is what I'm talking about.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. He never came over to the league, man. He never came over to the league. I was like, look, if Tractor Trailer can play, you definitely can play.
Yeah, Stanley Roberts was in the league.
Yo, shout out to Sophocles Schwarzenegger, my man.
Wherever you at, man.
Yo, do you think the Bucks need to make a move?
Nah. I think they fine. Brook Lopez is gonna come back pretty soon.
Yeah.
Then like they're doing this without Brook, even though he's not Nets Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
But he's a big body. And then when he comes back, you could move Bobby Portis back to the second unit. I think the only trade that they were looking at would only one that has value besides their big three is maybe Dante DiVincenzo.
Yep.
But my thing with that is you have DiVincenzo, you have Connaughton, you have Grayson Allen, you have Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
You're like all in that 2-3 range. So I think you should hold on to DiVincenzo because you're pretty much one injury away from being thin at that position. So I wouldn't move on from him unless you're going to get someone that plays that same position in a slight upgrade. But other than that, I wouldn't trade him for no draft pick. But like you said, like we're in win now mode.
Yeah.
So a draft pick isn't going to help me.
No, not
right
at all.
now.
Not at all. I think draft picks are overvalued, especially in the NBA.
Right.
You can pick guys up out of the G League that'll give you what a first round draft pick is giving you, even if it's a number 17 or 18.
Like if Milwaukee says, all right, Sacramento, you take DiVincenzo, you give me Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it too.
I'm cool
That's
with
an
it.
upgrade.
Right. I'm cool with it.
That's definitely an upgrade.
Yeah, but don't send DiVincenzo to somewhere where you're giving me back jump.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bradley, man. Bradley pulled up on the podcast. We appreciate the comment, B. Hayes. Before we go, Bradley Bill, speaking of Bradley, is out for the season. Just had season-ending wrist surgery. So he's out of all trade talk.
Yeah.
He was a dark horse Ben Simmons possible trade candidate because he refuses to sign a $252 $252 million Supermax. That's how bad he wants out of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, so knowing that he could get 5 years, $250, do you honestly see him not signing this extension and making himself a free agent? Or do you think he's holding out to force the Wizards to do something?
What could the Wizards do?
I don't know.
I think he's not gonna sign. I think he's gonna be a free agent because I've been also hearing that The Knicks are trying to see if they can get Spencer Dinwiddie from Washington.
Yeah.
So I think if they trade Spencer Dinwiddie, now probably Bradley Beal gonna be looking around like,
yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Spencer Dinwiddie was going to get traded a couple weeks ago because they're saying like he's not fitting in with the team well. They really don't like him, and he's a shell of himself since that injury last year. What was it? ACL?
ACL.
Yeah, so he's not the same guy.
And it wasn't like it was a full blown injury. It was like a partial.
Yeah. He was never terribly athletic. He was just active. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. If you're the Sixers, right? Is there a scenario where you could move Tobias out of there and create that cap space for Bradley Beal? Possibly. I don't see him going anywhere like Portland, who definitely is thirsty for free agents. What player could you put Bradley Beal next to where you think he'll make a difference and elevate that team?
Now, if with all this cap space that Portland created, if Bradley Beal was to go there with Dame and obviously someone else, I don't know who, but that would be an upgrade over CJ.
Yeah,
because you'll have they about the same height,
more scoring,
but
you're still going to be a defensive liability.
No, Bradley Beal plays better defense than CJ.
Yeah, but still, with Dame being small, Bradley Beal's not going to take the bigger guard on the other team.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it all depends on what else. Like, if Bradley Beal goes there, maybe someone else might be like, okay, maybe I could go there and I could fit in with them too.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what will come with Bradley Beal. If he's the one of the rare free agents that go to Portland and say, hey, I like Portland, Oregon. I'll come up here and sign.
Yeah, they got a nice steakhouse down by the arena.
Yeah. I heard the trout is biting up here.
Yeah, man. So anything else? All right, let's talk about this for a second. The flagrant foul by Marcus Morris on the Clippers, or from the Clippers, on Ja Morant while he was about to throw down another monster dunk coming down the lane. Morris, in my opinion, purposely slapped him in the face and put him on his back. It wasn't the hardest slap, but he slapped him in the face. It wasn't like he whacked him, right? But he definitely hit him in the face while he was vulnerable. On a scale of 1 to 10, how flagrant do you think that foul was?
By the NBA book, it was a flagrant foul.
Okay.
Because anything above the shoulder and neck area is a flagrant.
Well, he clearly put his hand on his face.
Yeah, but that wasn't the foul that got him ejected. What got him ejected was, he hit him in the face, but then I guess he realized, I got hit him in the face.
Yeah.
And then like slid over and got his arm. So the arm is what pulled him down. So that's what got him ejected.
Yeah.
So it was dirty.
It was dirty.
It was dirty.
Now, do you think this is are they a problem in the NBA?
Yeah, because they still think they're like, the NBA doesn't have goons anymore.
No.
So they still think they're goons. Like, and I think he's gonna get at least 2 game suspension. Because he has a track record.
Yeah.
He stepped on Luka's ankle in the bubble.
He definitely did.
Knowing Luka had a bad ankle.
Yep.
Stepped on his ankle. Then Luka's going up for a layup, and then he like clotheslines him in the back of the head. Like, come on, like who are you?
Well, his brother has whiplash for that same sort of behavior.
And his brother might be out for the season.
Yeah. They're concerned.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler seems to think, he just put out a statement, I saw it today just before the podcast, that he says the NBA won't allow us to brawl no more. And he really feels like that they need to let a couple of them go just to keep people in line. Do you think that these NBA players today really want to brawl?
No, they don't.
I think they want to brawl, right? But they only want to brawl the people they want to fight.
Yes.
Like, I think Jimmy Butler wants to fight like Korkmaz.
Yes.
But when he sees Steven Adams, it's a different story. Like, I ain't say I want to brawl like that.
Yeah, he want to hug it out.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing with Morris. I think they want to brawl until somebody like Steven Adams steps up. And then now we're, and I honestly don't think, like, I don't think LeBron's the toughest guy, but I also don't think people really want to fight him.
Nazir Muhammad did.
Nazir Muhammad definitely did, but we're talking about a player from a bygone era. You know what I'm saying? 20 years ago, 22 years ago, Najee Muhammad came in the NBA and he was built for it.
Mm-hmm.
My man came in there. He was the goon. They called in the goon.
No, I think Isaiah Stewart really wanted to get him.
Isaiah Stewart's a rare case. He's a rare case. He's built like the Thing from Fantastic
I think
Four.
he really wanted to get him.
But LeBron is athletic. I don't know his hands. I don't know nothing like that.
I don't think LeBron wants to actually fight anyone.
I don't think he wants to because I don't think that's in his nature.
No,
but I don't think anybody wants to find out.
And I think he knows his image will take a big time hit.
Yeah, but I will say this: LeBron's no look, axe handle across the mouth in the face to Isaiah Stewart. That was pretty. Listen, man, he wound up and cocked that thing back and he got him, man. He got him good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of power there.
But they said it was an accident.
Yeah, but I'm not one of the people that think Jimmy Butler's is as tough as he says he is. I think he's tenacious and he plays with a lot of fire, but I don't think he's really trying to get it on. I don't know why he made that comment. I saw it on SportsCenter before we started. It was pretty ridiculous to me. I don't think NBA players are tough like that. There's very few of them that are tough. But, I meant to get a bottle of champagne and pop the cork. Baseball has ended steroid testing.
Yes.
Because they didn't renew the agreement, and there's a lockout, so there's no collective bargaining agreement. No one's negotiating it. So if they come back on a tentative agreement, everyone can take steroids. Let's clap it up, man. Let's clap it up. You know what I'm saying? They're still keeping the guys out the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, still keeping them at the Hall of Fame.
No Rafael Palmeiro, no Barry, no Clemens. Your reaction when you heard that baseball would no longer be testing for steroids?
I think after all this time, and then you doing what you're doing with those guys that can't get in the steroid era, and then you were suspending guys for seasons, 100 games here, 80 games here for PEDs, and now you're taking it away.
Yeah,
I think it's like maybe baseball is admitting that they were wrong.
Yeah, possibly,
but let's like when we spoke about it before. Now you got to let Robinson Cano back in the league.
Yeah, look, I'm saying I want to see since you're not going to test for steroids, let's all right, let everybody take HGH and all the designer stuff. We don't want anabolic steroids because they kill people and they're not good. And then it just doesn't make for good baseball players. You just get Canseco's and McGuire.
Yeah.
Guys running through the fence in the outfield, right? But raise the mound. And give the pitchers more advantage. Say, look, since the hitters are never going to be tired and they're going to regenerate faster, so they're going to be able to hit home runs later into the season and then through the dog days of summer keep their pace up. Let's raise the mound so the pitchers can just mow them down too. And let's see who the best, who's really great.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my thing. If you're not going to test for steroids, raise the mound up like you did in the 70s, in the 60s. I want to see what baseball looked like when Sandy Koufax was playing. I want to see that kind of pitching.
What didn't wasn't the mounds raised like in the 80s as well?
Yeah, I think it was raised in the 80s.
That's when they started to like
they started to lower it. It was raised in the 70s and 80s. Then they started to lower it. Even though several guys still hit home runs without, having to juice up, even though they had other drugs. Just to do what you did to Barry and those guys last week and then turn around this week and announce we ain't testing. That's crazy.
That's crazy. It's crazy. So I think they since they like not testing anymore, I think they really should revisit the Hall of Fame and start to really give consideration into guys like Barry and at least Barry and Roger Clemens.
Yeah. And you know what they should do too? Let's move the fences back. I want to see center field be 440 feet again. I want to see right field be at least 405. I don't want to see 332 in right and left field. I don't want to see the foul pole 328 feet from home plate.
Everybody move the fence back except for Yankee Stadium. I need that to stay.
Listen, man, we can't help you there, brother. Y'all got all the hitting. I think y'all got all the hitting.
We just need some.
Y'all just need some pitching.
We just need some left-handed bats to take advantage of that short porch.
I want to see people go shopping at the gap again, like they used to say. Hit it right to the gap again. Let's see the athleticism in your outfielders. I want to see some Jim Edmonds, Ken Griffey Jr. outfield plays. I want to see that kind of stuff going again. Raise the mound too. Make it hard on the hitters. Bring baseball back. And maybe the pitchers will be able to go longer innings if they got more of an advantage. Because I'm tired of seeing a starting pitcher go 3 1/3 and get sat down, and then he gets credit for a win that he had nothing to do with. Sir, you pitched 3 innings.
And the bullpen took it home, and you get a win.
Sir, you were done pitching before I even got into the stadium. Before I got through security, you were done for the day. And you got $24 million a year.
And I came here to see you.
Exactly.
You're the ace.
Yeah. You 1 out of every 5 days you show up and actually play, and then you go 3 1/3. And then I got to watch 17 different specialists finish out the game. Oh, we got a short reliever. We got a long reliever. We got a middle reliever. We got a special reliever. We got a acid reflux reliever.
Are you a fan of the rule that Major League put in? They might have put it in like a couple years ago. That when you call in a guy from the bullpen, he has to at least face 3 batters.
Yes, I am a fan.
Only way he doesn't have to face 3 batters is if he come in with 2 outs and he gets the last out. He doesn't have to come out.
That's the only reason you shouldn't be expecting to face 3 batters. Yeah, like in the middle of an at-bat in a critical time, bottom of the 8th, you're trying to protect a run-1 lead, a 1-run lead, and it's a 2-1 count, and you want to bring in your closer now just to get out of the inning or whatever. Yeah, bring in a lefty for half an at-bat. I'm cool with that. You see what I'm saying? I'm straight with that.
Yeah, because they're trying to get rid of that lefty-lefty matchup. Now, when you want to bring in your lefty, now you got to be like, he has to face these 2 righties just to get to the lefty that I really want him to face.
Exactly.
And then we're going to pull him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Baseball can easily fix the sport. And I'm not one of those people that think fans are going to come back to baseball just because home runs are being hit, right?
I think they will.
I mean, but I think also people want to see an 18 strikeout game. I want to see a no-hitter. I want to see, a guy win 20 games in the season or go 15-3. I want to see Kevin Brown with the Marlins in 1997. I want to see utter dominance. I want to see, because every team had an ace or just a very good starter. I miss those days. It was better baseball. It was a reason to show up to the stadium once a week at least for every team.
Right.
Bring that back. I want to see that. There's always going to be more great hitters than there are great pitchers, but give the pitchers a fighting chance.
Right.
Move the walls back, raise the mound, let's get to it. And let the pitchers take HGH. They won't be tired either.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see you throwing 105 in the bottom of the 9th. That's what I'm all about. Let's make everybody super athletes.
I just think sports need to get rid of this whole analytics thing too, man, because analytics in sports it's terrible.
Analytics have NBA teams starting guys that are 6'7" at the 5.
Yes.
Analytics have bad football teams going for it on 4th and 9 on their own 42-yard line.
Or going for 2 when you really don't need it.
Oh, just going for 2 in the middle of the first quarter.
Right.
Yeah. 5 minutes into the first quarter, you score a touchdown. Now you only got 6 points.
Right.
And you're chasing those 2 points for the rest of the game. Yeah, it's just the eye test. Like, you used to have to know the sport and be able to feel the game and understand the strategy in order to make certain decisions. Now there's some egghead that went to college and punched stuff on a computer that never plays sports, that plugs all the stats into an Excel program and says, this is what you should do.
Right.
That's garbage.
Yeah. I'm like, going back to baseball. I want my leadoff batter laying down a bunt to try to beat it out to first.
Exactly.
And then my number 2 hitter dropping down a bunt and moving him to second, or you still second, just to set up for my 3, 4, 5.
Exactly. A utility infielder coming in to step into one.
Right.
Well, go in there, step into it, take it to the shoulder blade. Yeah. We'll get you up out of there. Thank you.
Yeah, late in it. Going to take one.
Hey, Rogers, you're in there. You know what to do. And then he takes his jacket off and stretches and warms up, and he doesn't even take practice swings. No. You know what I mean? He don't even have 3 bats. He just got his 1 bat.
Yeah, he don't even got no gloves.
Nope. You're going in there to step into one. You don't even need a helmet, sir. I need you as hurt as possible.
If you get hit in the head, all right. Well, you got insurance.
We got the best doctors in the world. Yeah, man. So shout out to baseball for doing that. Now we got to talk about it. Super Bowl time, man.
Super Bowl.
We got the Cincinnati Bengals, Los Angeles Rams, another home Super Bowl. I don't know what to attribute that to. We've never seen home Super Bowls until Tampa Bay.
The Rams is their away team.
It's in LA though.
Yeah, but they rotate AFC, NFC Super Bowl sites because it was in Tampa last year.
Yeah.
And now that the Chargers and the Rams share a stadium.
Dave, we're not doing this. They're the home team. It's a home Super Bowl. You're in the same city. Simple as that.
It's the Chargers.
If the Jets made the Super Bowl during NFC's year in MetLife Stadium and they're a home team. Simple as that. Like, it's the same area. Even though it's not the same as that building, it's the same area.
They can't use their own locker room.
Listen, bro. It's a home game. If you're from Cincinnati and your team is in LA playing the Super Bowl against an LA team, trust me, the Bengals are going to know it's an away game. They're going to feel it. That's going to be one of the loudest stadiums ever in the history of the Super Bowl. Let's just say this. Who do you have winning this game?
Rams.
Why do you have the Rams winning this game?
Better defense.
Okay. Better?
Yeah, better defense.
Yeah, okay.
Better
okay.
defense. Better
okay.
defense. Better front four. The Bengals might have the better linebacking crew, but
by miles. I think the Rams linebackers stink.
Yeah,
and they've been like that. They can't figure it out.
And I think the Rams have the better secondary only because they have Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, you're not Eric Weddle doesn't move the needle for you? He's fresh off the couch, man.
He's fresh.
Yeah, he's fresh legs.
But
man.
I think they're gonna use. I think he's gonna play a lot.
Yeah,
in the Super Bowl, and I think he's gonna be playing a lot of like that hybrid linebacker safety to help out with their weak linebackers
coming down in the box. Right. Yeah, helping to run.
I think the Rams will cause the same problems that Tennessee caused for the Bengals. Sack them 9. If the Rams sack you 9 times, you're not winning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that means Aaron Donald
that means it hit the fan.
Yes, Floyd, and those sacks are going to cause fumbles.
Yes,
and short fields, or if it's not a scuba score, it's a short field.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens, I don't think the Bengals got enough firepower to overcome that.
So give me a score.
I was just thinking about this earlier. I want to say 34-31.
34-31.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a close game.
Yeah.
So you're not saying the Bengals are going to go Dak Prescott 2019 and just get it all in garbage time, huh? This is going to be a dogfight.
I think the Rams are going to jump out, and then I think the Bengals are going to like cut it, but I don't think they're going to be able to overcome it.
Gotcha. All right. I got the Rams 33-20.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they're far and away the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about Joe Burrow in this bad offensive line. I know there's going to be a screen game. There's going to be a lot of screens.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing the Bengals have is really good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the screen game is going to be a factor. The quick passing game is going to be a big factor. And I think that what you have to do is negate that pass rush. The draw plays, the screens, the bubble screens. And you're going to have to do something to unlock Jamar Chase from Jalen Ramsey. So you're going to have to move him around. But shout out to Google. My Google turned on. But, that's crazy. But the Bengals do have some dynamic slot receivers that can get open.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Rams cover everybody is the question. If that screen game is successful at slowing down the pass rush.
I think the Rams, I don't think they go man.
Okay.
I think they play a zone, and that zone will give that pass rush time to like get there.
Yeah.
So I think that will be the strategy. I think playing zone, because it's easy. You can be like, okay, we'll put Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And then we'll live with everybody else.
Jamar Chase is getting bracketed all game.
Not if Ramsey's on him.
Okay.
So now, if you want to bracket Jamar Chase, here's what I would do. I would put Ramsey on T. Higgins 1-on-1, and then I would double Chase.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
But here's the thing, and this is what I like about Joe Burrow. He's a low mistake quarterback. He's not out there throwing picks. Mm-mm. And the Bengals, as a team, don't make mistakes. They underwhelm you until you make mistakes, and then they make you pay for them because they capitalize on your mistakes. They are. It's almost like they stick to their guns and they play disciplined football because they know they don't have the talent to really try and push it, right? Like you never see them really go crazy in the playbook. Mm-hmm. But I think the bubble screen game, Ja'Marr Chase, getting him started early with the short game. It doesn't matter if the first 4 or 5 completions are only 3 or 4 yards. You want to start showing that, hey, Burrow can get this ball out of here pretty fast. And if it doesn't go to Chase or to Higgins, it's going to go to Mixon. And we're going to get Mixon out in space. We're going to force those linebackers to play some football today.
Right. But I think
that's my game plan.
Yeah. I think if Cincinnati allows the Rams to run the ball like Tennessee did,
yeah,
I don't think they have a chance.
Cam Akers is going to be a big factor. That's why I say like 33-20.
And then now we going into that Tennessee game, we all knew that the Bengals secondary wasn't, top notch.
It's not. But Eli Apple has stepped up, man. I know you don't like it, but he's had a great run in the playoffs.
And I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Good for him.
I'm glad you brought Eli Apple up.
Yeah.
Eli Apple has to pick his poison.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna go guard Odell?
Oh, it's on.
Or am I gonna go guard Cooper Kupp?
Yes.
Again, if they can run the ball like Tennessee did, not Derrick Henry, the other guys from Tennessee was running the ball. If Cam Akers and Sony Michel can run the ball, that play action is gonna kill Cincinnati.
Yeah,
it's gonna kill them because they don't have anyone that can guard Cooper Kupp.
Well, but we saw they're susceptible to the big play, but they seem to tighten up in the second half, man. And they rarely get caught out of position.
Right. But that was because you played against Tennessee
and Oakland. Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas.
We
Tennessee, and then the Chiefs.
We both know Vegas got hosed.
They definitely did. Yes,
they got hosed. Yes.
Controversial.
Now the Tennessee game.
We
knew about Tennessee's defense. They sacked them 9 times. But what were we both saying? We don't trust Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
And right on cue, Ryan Tannehill gave them 3 interceptions.
Yes.
Now, with the Chiefs, we know the Chiefs don't have a defense.
Right.
If you can outscore them, the only way to beat the Chiefs really is to outscore them.
Yes.
Now with the Rams got an offense and a defense. So this is not like Tennessee where they were defense heavy and then Ryan Tannehill's going to give it away.
Yeah.
The Rams, even though Matthew Stafford was tied for the league in interceptions, but this playoff run, besides that 49ers game where I don't know why Tart dropped the punt, but he has been taking care of the football.
He has.
You know what I mean? So, and he threw the interception against the 49ers because that's a division rival. They know your weaknesses. They know your strengths. So they know you're going to go to Cooper Kupp in his position. But I think he's going to take care of the football. Now Matthew Stafford's going to give the Bengals at least 2 interception opportunities. What they do with it, it's on them.
Yeah.
But I think the Matthew Stafford's interceptions will probably be low. You can deal with that. If the Rams are getting to Joe Burrow and them sack fumbles, I don't think you can overcome sack fumbles. And we saw a quarterback who led the league in interceptions win a Super Bowl. We saw he wore number 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eli.
So you and look, I picked the Rams to win because I think their offense is just too dynamic.
Yep.
But I do see a path to victory for the Bengals, and that's if the Rams don't set the tone on offense early.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get physical early, get that running game going early, and they're gonna have to, get Cooper Kupp going early, right? Because that's gonna open up Odell.
Yeah,
I don't think Cooper Kupp opens up Odell, not the other way around.
But I do like
because he runs more of the routes.
Yeah, but I do like what the Rams do with Odell. Like they throw him the ball like the first couple plays.
Yeah,
just to test the water.
Oh yeah,
and
all the attention's on Kupp.
Yeah, because they know because it's easy. Like I could just go to Odell early because I know when I need to go to Cooper Kupp, it's gonna be a completion. And then they run the ball just to see what they could do, how the defense is gonna be playing. But and Sony Michel, he's a Super Bowl champion. He know how to do this.
All right. So you got your score was what? 33-30?
34-31.
34-31. I got 33-20. The Rams. Von Miller gets another ring. Stafford gets his ring and gets people off his back for good now because he'll be a Super Bowl champion, which I'm happy for him because you should be happy for anybody that survives being a Detroit Lion, being drafted and being held as a Detroit
hostage.
Lion. Yeah, being held hostage.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your Super Bowl MVP?
The Lions
Stafford?
Fans should celebrate that. The MVP of the Super Bowl, I don't know. And I don't know. I see the Bengals being smart enough on offense, Zach Taylor and that coaching staff, to be able to neutralize some of what Aaron Donald does. Not to say he won't make a few big plays and make some stops or whatever, but I really think that the MVP of the Super Bowl might be Cooper Kupp. I don't know. It's definitely going to be somebody on offense. So I'm going to go Cooper Kupp. Matter of fact, I'm going to place that prop bet. I'm going to hop on DraftKings and place that prop bet. Cooper Kupp for Super Bowl MVP.
My only issue right now with the Bengals line is one of their guards. He splits time with the backup.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna
work.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work. One of y'all gonna have to get used to playing this week.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, man. Hey, yo, look at that, man. Shout out to Jared Allen, the NBA. I just gotta say the Cavaliers are serious.
Yeah.
And they just got LeVert in exchange for Rubio. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was a trade we don't really care about, but yeah.
It helps Cleveland.
Yeah, it definitely helps Cleveland.
Yeah. It gets him a bigger guard to go with Darius Garland.
Yeah, and the basketball gods once again. Ricky Rubio, you're banished. Yeah,
every time there's a good team, Rubio, come on,
exactly.
come with me.
Exactly. See you at the crossroads.
Yeah,
that dude in the trench coat is coming to pick up his career and take it to a bad city. So we got our Super Bowl picks in. We'll be watching the game. If Matt Stafford wins this game, is he a Hall of Famer?
Wow.
That's a question.
That's a good question.
His numbers are pretty good.
Numbers are pretty good.
Yeah.
We got to revisit that. And he's been the quarterback for two of the best wide receiver seasons in NFL history.
Yeah.
Quarterback for both of them.
A Super Bowl win, I think, might solidify. A Super Bowl win in another competitive season next year might solidify that. Because I'm judging everybody by the Kurt Warner rule. If Kurt Warner got in the Hall of Fame, a lot of people should get in.
Yeah.
Like McNabb, it's time.
Yeah.
Put my boy in there.
Yeah.
And he's only my boy because y'all let Kurt Warner in. So now I got to let y'all know who's the best quarterback of that era.
You said a Super Bowl win in another competitive season next year.
Yeah, another deep playoff run.
It might happen because, Brady's out. And then who knows what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. So the NFC might be the Rams.
Might be wide open. That's what I'm saying. And Russell Wilson, we don't know what's happening there.
Right.
Yeah, man. Russ, do you think he stays in Seattle? The talk is heating up, man.
What's a fit for him?
Cleveland. He's a better version of Baker Mayfield.
So you trade him for Baker?
Straight up. Yeah. I would do that. And I'm the Baker defender and the apologist.
Yes, you are.
Right? If he's healthy next year, I think things can happen. Yes, but I'm not standing out there anymore for Baker Mayfield.
You are.
Because I know what it's like to depend on a quarterback who just doesn't quite get right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to watch this Super Bowl, man. I'm not talking about the Pro Bowl. No. Yeah, we're not discussing that.
No, why?
They used to tackle in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, you can't do it now.
Oh my God.
You saw that run Mac Jones
Come on, man. Then he danced. Like, all right, man.
What? Wait, why was he even in the Pro Bowl?
I think they should just because Josh Allen didn't want to go. So he was like, here, take my son.
Okay.
He said, take my son.
Yeah.
All right, my son will show up for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. I think they just need to have the Pro Bowl be skills competitions and maybe some 7-on-7 drills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's about it. I don't really care to see the punter or the kicker if you're not going to play a real game. I want to see receivers. I want to see skill positions. I want to see linebackers like run through the courses like the old Madden video games.
Right.
I want to see that. I don't want to see anything else. Even the fastest man competition and the skills competition was horrible. Like Tyreek Hill didn't even try to run.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And
like,
everybody's making a big, Micah Parsons beat Tyreek Hill in the race. He was half speed.
We know that Micah Parsons is not the fastest man in NFL.
No.
We know this. All right. So, yeah, man, it's a good show, man. Anything else we missed? We might have missed. I think I attacked everyone in the NBA.
Yeah,
this
I think you hit everything that you wanted to touch on.
Shout out to the Warriors, 10-game winning streak.
10-game win streak, going for 11 tonight against the Jazz.
No one notices.
No one.
Anybody that watched this podcast did not notice the Warriors were on a 10-game win streak. That's called blowing quietly.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Suns, man, listen, they dealt with my Sixers last night on the second game of a back-to-back. Even though Embiid dominated DeAndre Ayton, and he looked like exactly the kind of guy you don't give a max deal to. You know what I'm saying? They pulled it off.
Clay is starting to be Clay.
Yeah, and Chris Paul did us filthy last night. 2 years ago, I had to pull up my old post. I'm gonna keep going back to it.
I saw it.
Listen, bro. I want smoke with the guy on that post who was insulting me. He's not saying nothing bad, but I'm mentioning it over and over again because he told me Chris Paul was done. He told me he was done and that Ben Simmons is better than him. And now look. But yeah, man, Pick and Roll Podcast, Indio Media Group. Shout out to everybody tuning in and commenting. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share Indio Media Group page on Facebook, Indio Media Group page on YouTube. It'll be up all week. One of these days I'm gonna chop it up into segments so people can like get the highlights of the show when I'm like going off and when you're breaking down stuff in the way only you do it. I think people need that. So I need to find an editor. If you know a video editor out there that wants to work for free and the promise of millions later on down the line.
Pro bono.
Exactly. Pro bono, man. Do it. Help your community, man.
Support black businesses.
SVB. You know what I mean? Hit us up. Let us know. And next week we'll be back to talk about the trades that occurred. The NBA All-Star game will be coming up. And
talk about the Super Bowl.
And then we'll talk about the Super Bowl, man. And what it means. So, Canelo Alvarez. I just saw somebody send me something. He's fighting Triple G.
I haven't heard. I haven't seen that one. If I see it, I'll confirm it with you. I haven't seen anything like that.
Somebody sent it to me on Instagram. Hold on. Let's see. Unless that post disappeared because it was Cap.
I can't confirm that.
Who sent me Cap? Let me see where it's at.
How about what you think of the Texans signing Lovie Smith?
Oh, we're not ending this podcast. Black coaches. Okay. So, oh man, I can't believe I was going to leave without this. All right. So let's talk about the Lovie Smith signing. It's window dressing.
I believe so.
The Houston Texans are going nowhere.
Yes.
You mean to tell me you fired David Culley after 1 year on a 3-year contract? You're going to pay him all that money and then sign Lovie Smith to an exorbitant amount of money to do the same exact thing David Culley was going to do. Mm-hmm. You don't have a quarterback, and the only guy on your roster has 26 sexual assault lawsuits against him. Mm-hmm. And the NFL's probably just never going to let him play again.
Right.
So you have all these draft picks, right? But it's also a year where no quarterbacks are coming out. Mm-hmm. So once again, it's window dressing.
Right.
Lovie Smith, as much as I'm happy that he has a job, that's not what we wanted to see.
No.
I have a problem with the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
And this is a segment that we got to go in on. And I'm going to chop this up, and we're going to do it. So they got the biracial coach. Mm-hmm. He's extremely fair-skinned. Mm-hmm. And he was a coordinator for 1 year and was a position coach for like 5 years.
Was he actually calling plays?
I think he was like what you do with little kids on PlayStation. You unplug their controller and give it to them so they think they're playing with you.
Because we all know in San Francisco who was calling the plays. We all know Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan was calling those plays.
Every single play.
This guy's been a coordinator for 1 year. But once again, okay, you're gonna consider that a black hire because he is biracial. He's black and he's white, right? So he's black. And in the eyes of most people, if you grow up in your neighborhood, there's plenty of people who had a white parent called him black. But then we're talking about this Miami situation. So Brian Flores filed his lawsuit, right? Or his class action suit, and he's just looking for change in the NFL, right? So now he accused Miami of offering him money to lose on purpose. Hugh Jackson then said Cleveland made him do it.
Double down.
Players in Cleveland said he did it. Des Bryant comes out and says Cowboys did it. And then by hiring this inexperienced coach, the owner says, no, I never would pay guys to lose on purpose. You've proven the point. Yeah. This is losing on purpose. You don't have a quarterback in place that you can trust.
No.
You have a stripped down roster and a bunch of players who are probably going to leave if they're free agents because they're not coming back to Miami. It's a dumpster fire, and they only play hard for Brian Flores. This new guy, I forget his name off the top of my head.
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald. It might as well be Ronald McDonald because he's going to look like a clown. Because not only is Miami a bad situation, right? Not only are they a bad situation, they're in the division with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots have re-entered the chat. You're not going to be good. You got to deal with Josh Allen for 10 years. You got to deal with, if Mac Jones becomes anything, you got to deal with him for 10 years. There's only so many playoff spots. Why couldn't Brian Flores stick around another year?
That's a good question. Like you fired a coach who got you back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in how long?
Exactly.
And you got rid of him for what? What was the point of getting rid of him?
For Mike McDonald, Mr. Inexperienced.
And then that's why I think a lot of them players that will run through a wall for Brian Flores, I think they're gonna think real long and hard. If they got 1 year left on their deal and this was their free agent year, I think they're gonna walk.
Exactly. And now, Miami, you have to not mess up your drafts now. You have to hit for Mike McDonald to survive because the scrutiny is going to be on it because of Brian Flores, even though he's considered a minority coach. And now we have 3. For him to survive, they're going to have to bat 1,000 on the next 2 or 3 drafts. Like, there's going to have to be a generational talent this year, and then it's going to have to be a generational quarterback talent the next year, or the greatest wide receiver we've seen since Megatron.
Which I don't see any generational talent quarterbacks, not in this draft and not next year.
Exactly. They're going to need a Deion Sanders-like character to come in there.
I know everybody's like for next year's draft, everybody's falling in love with Bryce Young, but again, that's an Alabama quarterback.
It's an Alabama quarterback. This is what we're saying, man. This is what we're saying. So for the Dolphins to say, for Stephen Ross to come out and say, yo, we would never do that. We never, would pay guys to lose. We don't lose on purpose. You're tanking.
You're losing on purpose right in front of people's face.
The issue is here with losing on purpose. We know teams do it. If you watch sports, you know teams lose on purpose. It's a thing. That's how you get better later. But
y'all made a whole thing out of it. Trust the process.
The Sixers trusted the process. But what you do is you understaff, but don't undercoach and underfund. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, don't offer guys money to pay to lose.
It's ways to do it.
Yeah.
You put guys on IR.
Yeah.
Come up with a crazy injury, put them on IR.
Well, that's the understaffing. But with Hugh Jackson, and once again, I think Baker Mayfield deserves a little slack here. Listen.
I'm listening.
They said they weren't calling any plays. Like, he was like, yo, I got paid to lose.
Okay, I get you.
And he was like, yo, we weren't switching our formations. We weren't doing nothing. We were just like, yo, they said they wanted to lose. It was the order he was given. He said, this is going to damage my career. And he said, well, we'll take care of you on the back end. And they took care of him. All right, they fired him. So now we know this happens. This case is going to be drawn out for a very long time. But we know this is going on now. And if anybody needs examples of losing on purpose, it's the Dolphins. That's what they're doing. And this is why people have a problem with how black coaches are getting treated. You could have gotten a legitimate head coach down there.
Yep.
I see if you fire Brian Flores for Lovie Smith, or Jim Caldwell.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You bring in a guy like that, okay, plausible deniability. Mike McDonald was not going to make it. I give him a season and a half.
Yeah. Like you said, like Lovie Smith is window dressing.
Yeah.
Right. You have a bad roster down there. He's gonna be the head coach for what, 1 year?
One and done.
And here's a head scratcher. Josh McCown had 2 interviews with the Houston Texans. So you're basically saying that Josh McCown is on the same level as Lovie Smith, who took the Bears to the Super Bowl and Rex Grossman was his quarterback.
With Rex Grossman as the quarterback, yes.
So you're saying those 2 guys are on an even playing field as far as being a coach, when McCown never coached any NFL coaching position, no college experience. He's a high school coach.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think the reason I'm pretty sure they were going to hire Josh McCown, but with this Brian Flores thing, I think they figured if we hired Josh McCown, it's going to really look bad.
Yeah, it's going to look real bad.
It's going to look bad. So let's not go that route. Let's go.
Somebody had to step in front of the gun.
Yeah, let's go Lovie Smith.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And I'm glad we didn't forget this, man, because this is an important conversation, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to talk about it again.
What do you think about the guy that's trying to buy the Broncos?
Oh, Byron Allen?
Yeah.
So he's a multi-billionaire in TV. Now, he's worth, I think, like $3 or $4 billion because he owns like most of the Hollywood studio lots. He's a comedian. You've probably seen him late night. It's like that comedy show where the comedians sit around and just talk to each other, and it comes on like CBS or like weird channels late at night. Used to come on like UPN or something and all that. So, but yeah, he made his money like legit. He's solid. It seems to be in with the Hollywood crowd now that he's a billionaire. But it's going to take a group, right? And that's where black, I guess, investors have run into problems. Is they'll put together an investment group, because I don't know who has $4 billion that they can just hand over that's black, right? Like, no, that'd be all they're worth. They would have to leverage everything they have on an NFL team. So it's going to be him and a bunch of owners, but he'll be the majority. They have to allow it. Like, the NFL has to approve it.
It has to be
other owners.
A vote. Yeah, it has to be a vote.
Yeah, because the other owners have to vote and say, we'll accept this guy. We believe in him. It happened in the NBA. They had to accept Prokhorov, but everybody was scared they were going to get killed. You know what I'm saying? They were like, yo, because he had the Russian mafia. It was a real thing. Like, yo, the NBA didn't know what to do. They're like, yo, this is a Russian mafia syndicate boss who just bought the Nets. We want to say no, but David Stern wanted to live. He chose life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the Broncos situation, it's going to be interesting to see. So you have Ziggy Wilf, who's a minority owner, and then you have the Jacksonville Shad Khan. They're both, I think, of Indian descent. We're going to see if they step up and help another group that's like them and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with Byron Allen and these other guys. Right. I remember people wanted Diddy and Jay-Z to go in on an investment group and buy a football team. I said, there's no way they're letting hip hop in there, because if they don't let more socially, accepted billionaires and millionaires in, why would they let 2 rappers in there?
Right.
They're not going to do it. So it's just, let's see if this guy is the kind of black that they like. And that's just the bottom line of it. Is he the black that you'll accept? And is his money long enough?
I hope he get it.
Yeah, man. But yo, that's a great show. I really want that discussion. I gotta chop this up. But yeah, man. Like, share, subscribe, Indio Media Group, Facebook, YouTube. Share it with your friends. We'll be back next week, man. Episode 41. This was great. Super Dave, we are out of here. Oh, and shout out Expensive Pain too. I heard the pain is expensive.
Playoff Sunday.